that it is being recorded. Thank you, Elijah. So what you're going to do is check your email. So throughout this webinar, I'm going to tell you a lot of things of what's going to be coming, because I know that a lot of you want more information. So you'll have a lot of good stuff coming your way, such as the recording of this webinar. You might want to hear it again. You might want to forward it to a spouse, a friend, an adult child, something. So I just want to put tools easily available for you. And you'll be able to see sections when you're watching the webinar, so you can fast forward and easily find a specific spot that you want to hear again or share. So that'll be easy for you. But while you don't know the agenda and everything that I'm going to talk about, if there is a question that you have that you know you want answered, or at least you want to ask, please go ahead now and throughout the webinar, put your question in the Q&A. So therefore, when we finish the presentation, if we didn't already cover your question, we want to get to your question. And if we run out of time, no worries, your question will be there. I can reach out, or Elijah will reach out and make sure that your question does get answered. But hopefully we'll have enough time to get everybody's questions answered. So Elijah's going to pop up a poll question for you real quick, if you don't mind. Just answer that. Have you ever been to Givens Estates? Yes, I have. Or no, I've never been there. Or yes, I've been here, but it has been a while. Well, if it has been a while, there have been a lot of changes in the last few years of our campus. We've had new construction. We did a full campus update. And of course, there's even more changes coming, which we're going to lightly touch on here in a few moments. So if it has been a while, maybe you want to reschedule another visit to come on campus. We'll talk about it again, but we do have options for people to come and have a full experience and see and tour and hear and learn all about the community, and also meet some residents that do live here. So that will be an option for you as well. So Elijah, would you mind introducing yourself and telling them who you are?
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Elijah Wilson. I'm the sales and marketing coordinator here at Givens Estates. I am a recent graduate from Western Carolina University. It's been a year and 1 month now, so
Yeah.
reasonably new to Givens Estates. I arrived here last March, and things have been going remarkably well. So, very excited for this opportunity to teach you guys a little bit more about this great place we work at. So.
We do have fun. And I'm Leslie Lang. I am the sales and marketing representative here, and I love my job. I have an absolute ball getting to meet with people, building relationships and trust, and helping people make a huge decision. This is a big deal for you. So please know that we are here for you. And that's why we're doing this webinar. Not everybody is in our area, not everybody can come. Maybe you're looking for yourself or a loved one. So we find that having these presentations of the big picture of what is Givens Estates, we want to make that available to you in person as well as virtually. So I like to educate future residents or family members about the industry as well as this community. Some people are ready to move right away. Some people are looking down the road. So there's a lot of angles of which you can put me to work, which I am happy to do. When somebody is going to consider moving to our community, we want to dive in and find out what is important to you. Why are you moving? What do you want to move to? We got floor plan options, there's financial things, and then there's all the health and medical things to walk through as well. So that's what I'm here to help you with. And we do have a wait list, which we will talk about in a few moments. And I do help manage that wait list and the ready list. We'll talk about the difference of those. So basically, I meet people and form relationships with them, and then actually move them into the community. And my focus is for independent living. We do have someone else that handles the higher levels of care. And if you want to learn more about that, we can get you in touch with Patrick Monaghan. We will touch on the higher levels of care, but a majority of this webinar today is going to be focusing on independent living. And Elijah and I are really your first touch point of people. We're a duo, so we get to work with you if you're considering our community. But where are we located? If you've never been here, it may be that you don't live in Asheville, but if you're not even familiar with our area, we are basically in South Asheville. We are close to everything. Our location is quite supreme. So this is Gibbons Estates. We are very close to both Interstate 40 and 26. Just a couple of minutes down the road, 5 to 10 minutes at the most, is the Biltmore Estate. A little bit further is the hospital, and a little bit further is downtown. If you were going the other direction, about right here is where the airport is. So you can get to Asheville and go everywhere. But people find that we are very conveniently located, and we are on Sweeten Creek Road, which is 25, but one road over is Hendersonville Road, where you will find all the doctor's offices, banks, post offices, everything you need is one road away. We're parallel. So if you have any further questions on our location, let me know. But I want to very lightly just touch on the brief history of Gibbons Estates. This is Mrs. Gibbons. It was Dr. Maurice and Marion Gibbons. They lived here. This is their summer home here on our campus. They lived here part-time, but they also had their full-time residence in Florida. And she was a daughter of a citrus farmer, and he was a chemist, and he came up with a chemical to put on fruit so that there was a preservative, so that they could be shipped all over the world and last longer, and a lot of other things. But that was a majority of their wealth building experience. So they lived here. He unfortunately did pass away before her, but it was Mrs. Gibbons that came up with the idea of setting up her estate to start a retirement community. So her home here in 175 acres of land and a sizable trust is what got us started 50 years ago this year. This year we celebrate 50 years of existence, and this community has continued to grow deep and wide inside our walls of our community as well as out in the community. So how cool would it be for me to be able to give her a tour and show what she did? We still operate off of that trust fund as well. Our community is very strong financially, and if you are interested in receiving our financial disclosure statement, let me know. You can put it in the Q&A box down there, and I'll see that and I can send that to you along with all the other things. So carrying on. So what did Mrs. Gibbons build for us? So we are what they call a CCRC. That's Continuing Care Retirement Community, meaning that all levels of care are offered on one campus. So here at Gibbons Estates, we have independent living, assisted living, long-term skilled nursing. We even have short-term rehab. We also are very, very proud of our Gibbons Home First program. This is on-site home care services for residents that do live here in independent living and they wish to receive some supportive services in their home. People, once they've already moved once, don't really want to move again. If they have a spouse, they don't want to be separated. And we do find that when people move into the community proactively in independent living, by slowly and surely adding more and more services, does allow for people to live independently much longer and probably not even ever move to a higher level of care. But if they did, it's usually for a much more abbreviated amount of time. So basically, we've got it all here on our campus. The only thing that we do not have on our campus is a dedicated memory care facility, but we are in the process of getting ready to build one. So within the next 3 years, we will have the dedicated memory care facility. And since most people are liking the option of home care services in their independent living residences, we see this as a great opportunity to redo our existing assisted living facility, make a new one. We don't need as many of the residences as we currently do. So that means we can have fewer but larger assisted living floor plans and residential style living for that area. So we're excited about that. That's the newest construction that you'll see here on our campus. So come 3 years from now, we will have it all, and everything on our campus will be updated. So if this is your first time learning and hearing about this industry, or even if it's not, I always find it very good to recap and learn and educate you on the contract options that you will probably run into as you start to learn more. And this can be a very overwhelming and stressful part of the process. So I want to educate you and make that more simple. So in the world of CCRCs, continuing care retirement communities, there are also what they call life plan communities. The term CCRC has been around for many, many years, but they have changed the new term of the industry over to life plan communities. So that's what the LPC is right here. So if you are doing research and you're hearing both CCRC or life plan communities, don't worry, just know that it's the same thing. It's a matter of just who's using what term. So I want to streamline that for you. So when you are looking at CCRC/life plan communities, you are most likely going to run into one, if not three, of the contract types that are out there. The contract types are referred to as a type A contract, a type B contract, and a type C contract. The type A is also known as life care. B is also known as modified fee for service. And the type C contract is also known as fee for service. So we're going to briefly walk through all three of these for you. But the common denominator between all the A, B, and the C, regardless of which contract type you are considering, when you move in to these types of communities, you will be asked to pay an entry fee and a monthly fee. The entry fee, in a sense, pays for your residence, whether it's an apartment, a duplex, a single family home, condo, whatever residence it is that you have chosen to reside in, that entry fee is paying for that. But you don't own it. So you don't pay taxes on it. You don't have to maintain it, but you do have the rights to live in that residence as long as you want it or need it. That entry fee is also going to pay for you to have access to everything that the community has to offer for you. So entry fee and monthly fee. The monthly fees in various communities will vary based on what that community has to offer, and we will touch base on what ours cover here. So whether it's an A, B, or C, you are paying an entry fee and a monthly fee. The A, life care. Don't confuse that with life plan. Type A, I think all in, all inclusive, all up front. You pay the entry fee and the monthly fee. But regardless of whatever level of care you are living in, you are prepaying upfront for all levels of care. You may or may not ever live in that higher level of care, but that entry fee paid for the residents and for all the higher levels of care. There are pros and cons to all of these contract types. That's why it's good for you to understand them so that you can determine what pros and cons mean the most to you. So a lot of people find that the type A is quite beneficial because the monthly fees does stay the same. You do still have cost of living increases, but it stays the same regardless of whatever level of care you are in. But the risk is if you are on a wait list, and most places do have long wait lists, we'll touch that. But if you are on a wait list for a type A community, and if you or a spouse or a loved one no longer qualifies to move into that community, you may not qualify for the campus, and then you don't have any plan at all. So you have to be older and healthier to move into a life care community. So that's the A. We're going to skip the B, but we are going to come back to it. So let's touch on the C. C, fee for service. Remember, again, entry fee, monthly fee. But on the C, you are not prepaying upfront for everything. You are simply going to pay a fee for the service that you are at that time receiving. So if you never live in the higher level of care, you never pay for it. If you only live in assisted living or skilled nursing for a month or two or whatever, you would only pay for it at that time. When I think of C, I think of control, of choices, customizations. So when someone moves into a fee for service type of community, they have more say so. They have more control over the choices, such as staying in independent living and receiving supportive care there, or moving to another level of care. That service can be customized for you, and you only pay for what you are at that time receiving. Fewer and fewer people do have long-term care insurance, but those that do have long-term care insurance, usually on a financial perspective, lean towards the C. Because if they did have long-term care insurance, they wouldn't want to prepay for the higher levels of care and pay for the policy and pay for it twice. So usually that helps people with making that decision, but that's not always the only decision for that. So it's a lot of choices out there for you. So then you've got the B, modified fee for service. Again, entry fee, monthly fee. You pay a fee for the service that you're receiving, just like the type C contract, but modified fee for service. So that means that that contract at that community has some modification that has been written in. So it's important for you to ask what that modification is, and they can be different from community to community. The biggest common things that I see in a modified fee for service would be, okay, Mr. and Mr. Smith, when you move into this community, you are automatically going to receive 30, 40, 50 free days in a higher level of care. Should you ever need it, it's like free coupons. Or another example is every year you live here, you can add on more free days, 10, 15, 20 days a year that you're here. So the longer that you're in independent living, the more vouchers or coupons or free days you have for a higher level of care. Another example is you will pay for that level of care at that time, but maybe in your contract it says that whatever the published rate is, you would pay it at a 10 or 15% discount. So I share these with you because it gives you an idea of maybe what questions you want to ask for more clarification. So first, at any community that you are looking into, you want to ask, what contract type does your community offer? Some communities offer all of them, but most of them do not. So if somebody did offer more than one contract type, you would have a specific pricing for the A, the B, and the C. Or if that community only offers one contract type, you have a better understanding of what this means. Okay. So the type A, B, and C are in your continuing care retirement / life plan community options. But additional senior living housing options that you might run into would be rentals and equity. Rentals are communities where you basically pay a monthly fee. Rentals, usually those monthly fees are much higher than what you will see in a CCRC life plan community because you don't have that upfront investment. But rentals can be a benefit for people, especially in a transition. For instance, my mother was a Givens resident. My mother moved from Charlotte. She moved to a rental community, and it was month to month. She didn't want to own a home anymore. She wanted to go ahead and get here to Asheville, get her doctors and everything established, and then she could just move out with a 30-day notice. So that made things a lot easier for her to have the rental community. Typically, rental communities don't have as many amenities. They don't have as many acreage and the size of a lot of these other retirement communities because you don't have the investment. And you also have a lot of turnover. My mother she lived there, I think it was 2 years. And she had a new neighbor about every 6 to 8 months. So there's pros and cons to all of them. So your CCRC life plan communities, people plan for them, they invest in them, and they are there for quite a while. So you really form good community. And then you don't have higher levels of care typically on a rental community. You might have an outside company that's renting space that could provide some home care or maybe a little semi-assisted living, but a lot of times you won't see skilled nursing in the rental community. So if you have a couple and one person needs skilled and this person is in the rental community and doesn't drive anymore, it makes it a little bit difficult for people to stay and be together. So pros and cons to everything. Okay. Equity is another option, but equity means that you purchased and you own the home, and hopefully the longer you own it, you would build equity, kind of like regular real estate. But a lot of equity communities will then offer either an A, B, or C contract if it is an equity community that has all the higher levels of care to offer. So now you know what the A and the B and the C is. So that's the big world of what you are looking at. But we're going to dive a little bit further, deeper into where you are visiting today. And today at Givens Estates, we offer the type C fee for service contract. Currently today, that's the only one that we offer. If you want to get past this level and hear and learn a little bit more about an option on how we can do a semi type A, let's do that apart from this and after we've received this information, so you can reach out to me. It's a newer thing that we're doing and I'll keep that separate. So just know you can reach out to me. We can talk about that further. So for clarification, we are now at this point in the webinar going forward only talking about Givens Estates, and it is a type C fee for service CCRC life plan community. See how much you're learning today? Okay, all right. So on your screen and in your follow-up email, I am going to include our complete full fee sheet. This is just a crop for you to be able to see the fee sheet here on the screen. But this is our 2025 independent living fees. So remember what I said, you'll pay an entry fee and a monthly fee. The entry fee, in a sense, pays for your residence. You have the rights to live in it as long as you want it or need it. But then we give you a 0, a 50, and a 90% refund option for you to choose from. The higher the refund, the higher the cost, okay? Which is why most people choose the 0%. Why? Our average move-in age is 74. The average time someone lives in our community is 13 to 15 years. So if you were looking at paying $200,000 versus $500,000, giving that money to a community for an average of 13 to 15 years, that's a good difference of an additional $300,000, which is why most people want to do that lower amount, because then they've kept more of their own money in their investments. A lot of people ask, what do most people do? So I just always share what most people do. So there are people that will choose the 50 and the 90, but I would say probably 95 to 98% of the people do choose the 0. But I'd like to touch on that 0. It does not mean that if you moved in today, you get nothing tomorrow. What it means is you have a full 4-year amortization. You move here, and after full 4 years of living here, then there is 0% due to you or your estate because you don't live in the community any longer. You'll see over here the 50% has a 2-year amortization, and then you would receive 50% back when you no longer live here. Now, you don't live here anymore because you moved out or you've ended your days. So that refund is going to you personally or your estate or trust. The 90% refund is 3 months. So how that math is done is it says it will amortize at 6% the first month that you live here. So the value of the refund declines 6% the first month. Then it continues to decline at 2% every month thereafter until your refund option is met. So if it takes 4 years on the 0%, it basically declines 25% per year. So if you lived here for 2 years and you decided to move out or you've ended your days, you'd get 50% back. If you live here for 11 years and you did the 0%, there would be nothing coming back. Okay. But if you left sooner than 4 years, there would be a prorated refund. And then you can figure the rest of that out on the 50 or the 90. And this is another area where people get a little stumped. So if you want us to recap and talk through that again with you, I'm happy to do that. Okay. So entry fee, monthly fee. If there are 2 of you that are moving into the community, you would be paying the double occupancy fee. There's 2 people living in that residence. But when you pay the entry fee, second person fee is $15,000. So whatever entry fee you chose of whatever residence, just add $15,000 because there's 2 of you. Okay, and then you would pay the double occupancy. If somebody were to pass away, it would drop to single. Or if somebody moved to another level of care, then it would stay at single for the person who wanted to stay in that same residence, and the other person would pay a fee for the service they are receiving. And you will be receiving the pricing for those higher levels of care as well on your full fee sheet that you're going to receive. I want to point out here on the 90% that there's 2 little stars there. So what that means is there would be a $5,000 premium for each year a person is over 85 years of age. Please note that this is only on the 90% refund. If you were choosing the 0 or the 50, age has no consideration in that at all. But if somebody were moving in choosing the 90% and they were 88 years of age, it's $5,000 per year. So 86, 87, 88, 5 per year. That'd be a $15,000 premium added to the entry fee. Please note that that added premium is also 90% refundable. You can be 150 years old, move into the 050, there is no premium. It's only on the 90. But I point this out because I just don't like surprises on any added premiums or anything whenever I am purchasing something. So whenever you see a fee sheet that has anything in bold or italics or little stars next to it, what does that mean? So I'm pointing that out to you. So also look at most of the floor plans here do have a star next to them as well. I've got over 400 residences here on our campus. We've got a lot to choose from. So I've got 31 Tulip apartments and they stack and they're facing in different directions. So a top floor Tulip apartment facing the sunsets and the mountains and the pond, it's probably going to have a premium on it. It's probably not any more than 10,000 at the most, but if it didn't match exactly what is on this price sheet, wouldn't you want to know that up front? So as we discover what it is that's important to you, what floor plan, we can dive in there and then I can tell you kind of what the range is so that if I did call you and offered you a residence and it didn't match exactly what's right there, you would know why and it wouldn't be a surprise. Where you do see the biggest differences from the base price to an offering price would probably be like some of our cottage homes or the houses. Some of them have full finished basements. The average size of our cottage homes are about 2,000 square feet, but a cottage with a full finished walkout basement is about 4,000 square feet. So we can talk about what that range is so that you can kind of decide what it is that you want. You're not surprised on any pricing. But having base prices on here with over 400 residences gives us a starting point. And then again, we can dive a little bit further so that you know. So when you're looking at the fee sheet on the cottages and on the monthly fee, when there are 2 figures there, the first figure would be without a basement. The second figure would be with a basement. So a lot of people get confused on that. So I wanted to point that out to you up front. Okay, so let's talk about what is included in the monthly fee for independent living. And regardless of where you live on the campus, everybody has access to the same monthly fee inclusions and amenities, activities, programs, classes, everything. Everybody has the same. So let's start with food. Included in your monthly fee, each resident will receive $306 per month included in their monthly fee. So think of this like a gift card. So you have $306 a month to spend in our 3 dining venues, and you spend it how you want. Think of it like a gift card. You don't know how many meals you're going to get off of it because it depends on which restaurant you went to, what you purchased. You can use it for guests. You can use it for wine, beer. You can meal delivery, takeout. So it just depends on how you spent it. Now, $306 is not intended to feed you 3 meals a day. This is independent living. You've got people traveling, cooking, they have full kitchens. So we could include $700 a month in there, but I got to increase your fee $700. So we don't want to include too much. So we evaluate what the average independent living resident is spending a month, and then we include that. So some people that travel a lot, if they get to the end of the month and they haven't spent their full $306, then they can carry over 2 months worth at all times. So 306 times 2 equals $612. So at the end of the month, if you had $615 rolled over, you would lose $3 plus your new month would start. So you can see as people get here and they're all settled in, they find that this is a really good program. We used to offer a meal a day, but if you didn't go that day, it was gone. So people that travel, come, go, have guests and stuff, it makes this a lot more flexible. We can add and offer a lot more programs and options for you. So included, each person receives 306, and you can always carry over a maximum of 2 months worth. We do have apps, we do have receipts. There's always ways for you to keep track of what you have. If somebody spent it all on the 3rd day of the month, you had a whole bunch of family members come and you blew it out and you had a great time. Does that mean you can't eat the rest of the month? No. Come, it's just going to be itemized on your bill and you'll pay for it at the end of the month, but come and use it as much as you want. Also included is weekly housekeeping every single week. And when you move in, you'll know what day and time they are coming to your residence. And they will vacuum and dust and clean the kitchens and the bathrooms. And they will change your bed linens for you if you set out clean sheets for them to change the linens for you. That alone is a reason for me to move. But housekeeping is very good. It's a light housekeeping. And yes, you can always add on deeper housekeeping services if you wanted to. Also included in your monthly fee are all of your utilities: phone, cable, internet, water, power, sewer, heat, air, all of that. Pest control, grounds control, all of that. So they take care of it. In fact, your monthly fee, you'll get a statement in your mailbox. You can reconcile the bill, and then we're setting you up on a monthly draft so you don't have to worry about paying all those bills anymore. It's taken care of. So all of your interior and exterior maintenance is taken care of. You have access to all appliances. We do all of the maintenance. There is a majority of our adult lives that we do want to own real estate, but there comes a time when we don't want to deal with that anymore. Let somebody else fix it and take care of all of that for you. So we give you that maintenance-free lifestyle here. And then as far as our community as a whole, we have about 800 residents here. So independent living is about 600 people. So that's a lot of people to keep entertained. Now, the other higher levels of care, they have their activities and programs and classes as well. But as I said, I'm primarily focusing today's information on independent living. So we've got a slew of activities, programs, classes, and things for people to do. You're going to receive a sample menu of what's going on currently right now. They're going to be seasonal. There's more things come and go based on feedback, interest, new ideas. It's always changing, and some things are seasonally as well. So just to mention a few, you got exercise classes, you got yoga, Nia, Pilates, Tai Chi, foot fitness, um, Reiki. You've even got a new class. It's cardio drumming. It's become so popular. They now have 4 classes a week. It's huge. They're having a blast. So you got walking, hiking trails. You've got cultural and spiritual programs, book clubs, hiking groups, photography, all kinds of mixed media, fiber arts, sewing, quilting, and we really do like to focus on doing things that don't just automatically make you think about a retirement home. This is a place to come and thrive. Okay, so we have things on campus, off campus, and if we don't have it and you want it, we want to hear about it because we might be able to add it. Maybe you help lead it, or maybe it's a good idea that you're coming up with. We also have the opportunity to see if people, and let's say you have an interest or a hobby and you'd like to start a group. If it's not here, our life enrichment department can do a poll and ask and see who is interested, and maybe we can get that going for you. So you've got scheduled transportation. Our buses are going to all kinds of places. These are scheduled events. Some will have fees and some will not. It depends. And if it did have a fee, you would be notified of that. So our campus is also a secured gated community. So we do have 24/7 security. People, as they age, they want to feel safe, and they definitely have that opportunity to feel that here. One thing I really like to slow down and really point out with our community is social services. Okay. Every person that moves in here has access to a social worker. I like to call them resident navigators, but they are social workers. They have master's degrees. They know the rights of patients and what services are out there. You may not. This is the first time you've aged. You don't know what you're going to want, what you're going to need, and they know what is needed, and they are here to assist you. It is a great way for you to help navigate through. You've got a new diagnosis. You don't know what's going to go on, how to plan. What do I need? I'm in and out of the hospital. Do I need a higher level of care? Do I need some home care? Do I need help with medication management? My daughter lives in Arizona. She needs to know what's going on. What if you can't communicate? You get the picture. They are the angels of this community, and they definitely give not only the resident a sense of peace, but also loved ones as well. So most communities don't offer this at independent living. A lot of communities offer it at the higher levels of care, but we find that the more you embrace that relationship, the more they know you personally to help you navigate through the many years that you are living here with us. So that is included. No additional fee for that help. So some things that are additional fees that are available here on campus is our MAHEC doctor's office. If you are not here locally, MAHEC stands for Mountain Area Health Education Center. It is a doctor's office. It's a huge physician network here in Asheville. So your primary physician can be right here on campus, and it opens you up to the network of all of the specialists. Remember in the beginning, I said where we're located. Everything you need is within a 2-mile radius of right here, the hospital and every doctor, specialist, and whatnot. But if you are moving from a new area, you're going to be dialing for dollars and finding who is accepting new patients. Well, if you're moving here, you have MAHEC, and it opens you up to the network of all of the physicians that are all very close to here. So that's a very big benefit. Ask about that with any community you're looking into. Women and men can have their hair done, nails done. You can have massages. You can have acupuncture, Reiki. You can even have a facial done. So a lot of additional things are available for convenience for you. It just may not be included in the monthly fee. So let's just take a quick look at the dining venues. We have 3 of them. They are located in the Oxford Commons building. We'll talk more about floor plans and locations. So the Social Brew is a gathering place. It's social space where people gather for breakfast and lunch, and on the weekends in the evenings. Brewed Coffee, brewed beer, specialty tapas menus in the evenings. You've got smoothies, sandwiches, salads. It's you walk up and you can see the picture here where you can order things and they'll bring it to the table for you, or you can do meal delivery and take out and such. So this is one of the dining venues. Then you've got Market and Craft. This is a walk-up made-to-order restaurant. So over here to the right, you can't really see it that well. That's our Givens to go area. It's a grab and go where you can get things, leftovers or produce or just some groceries for you to have. Over here is where the grill is. There's Ernesto. He will make your burger, your Reuben, your sandwich, however you want it cooked. They'll make it for you. This is the grill. Then you've got the chef's creation station where they've got the special of the day. It's a hot meal, your vegetables, and so forth. You can't see it over here, but that's where the pizza oven is. You can have breadsticks, calzones, pizzas, and you can make your own, and they got specialty ones for you. All of our culinary chefs work in this area. This is food that is prepared here on campus. We do not use an outside food service. This is all done here. We also have a beautiful salad bar, huge salad bar. You can make it the way that you like. They've also got pre-made salads, soups, and then you've got all of the pastry chefs that make all the pastries that are just very, very tempting. So you have a lot of options here as well. Terrene is our third restaurant, and it is an elegant and intimate restaurant. And Terrene means from the earth. So they're trying to do everything they can to develop the menu from everything that is local, in season ingredients. So it's a full table weighted service, and it's open more on the evenings, on the weekends. And it too is in the Oxford Commons building. All three dining venues are in the Oxford Commons building. We do recommend that you make reservations for Terrene, but it is not required, but sometimes it's busier than others. So if you don't want to wait, then definitely try to make a reservation in advance. All of the restaurants are on a different 6-week schedule. So about every 6 weeks, a new restaurant's getting a new menu. Nobody wants to eat the same thing all the time. And of course, they're going to bring things back or change things based on feedback. Yes, we have vegan, vegetarian, low sodium, gluten-free, you name it. Can you imagine feeding 600 people every day? That's going to be a lot of differences of what people want. And we find that people want variety, and food is extremely important. It's not just about eating the food. It's the sense of arrival. It's the variety. It's the socialization. So a lot goes into our thought processes when it comes to our dining. Wellness is also a huge thing that's very important to people. People want to stay active, they want to be independent, and not everybody likes the same form of activity. Our campus is 215 acres. We have well over 5 miles of walking and hiking trails. We also have the Jordan Center. This is a brand new state-of-the-art exercise facility, wellness center. It's got the pool, it's got the aerobic studio, it's also got all of the brand new equipment that we just got in here. It has full-time staff. Many of the staff members have master's degrees in exercise science. They can help you get workout regimens. All residents have access to this area 24/7. So maybe you want to go when it's busy, or maybe you want to go when it's not so busy, but you can have access to that at all times. We also have therapy spaces where you can have occupational, speech, and physical therapy. Those are done through your insurance or separate. We can do that for you as well. Just get a referral and they can bill your Medicare for that. Or if it's not through that, you can self-pay. Let's touch on floor plan options. So we've got, I said, over 400 places to reside. So there's over 63 floor plans. So this is where it starts to become very personal for you. Where and what do you want to live in the campus? What are you living in now? Where do you see yourself down the road? And this can also be a very stressful part for people because they're like, I don't know what I want. I don't know. And you don't know when you're moving, and that's okay. You don't have to make an immediate, life commitment on what it is, but it's good to know what is out there. Okay. So we offer everything from 300 to 4,000 square feet. We've got it all. We're going to find something that is going to work for you. But to kind of narrow it down, I tell people, let's go to two categories. Do you see yourself being more of an apartment style or more of a single family? So if you are thinking more of apartment options, you would be looking at our Oxford Commons, Asbury Commons, Creekside, and Friendship Park neighborhoods or buildings. The single family options would be our houses, our cottages, and our duplexes. We have well over actually 8 different neighborhoods on our campus because there's 2 duplex neighborhoods. So if I were to spend 5 minutes just talking about these neighborhoods, you're going to be on this webinar for 40 minutes, me just talking about floor plans. So what I have prepared for you is a floor plan webinar. I'm going to pull up the campus map. We're going to say, this is this building. You can see it. These are the features, the benefits, the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. Here's visuals of interiors of what they look like on the inside. And the last 5 years, I've been working on a library where I have videos of every floor plan that we offer, thanks to our residents giving me the permission to go into their personally furnished resident and taking a video. So you're going to receive that whole library in your follow-up. And when it's a link, you just click it. If it's not working, copy, paste it, put it in your browser, and those links will say furnished. Furnished means that it is an occupied residence by their furnishings. When you move in, you will bring your own furnishings. But I've got such a large library. Some are furnished, some are not. But when you're looking at links, that's what furnished means. So if there's a floor plan that you like and you'd like to see more, reach out to me because I've probably got more. So you can see those as well. So we kind of looked at the dining and the wellness, but there's so many more amenities that our campus has to offer. So in your follow-up email, you're also going to receive a virtual tour to walk around the campus, see the pool, see these dining areas, learn more about each of those. So we want to entice you and excite you that you want to come to our campus. So we're putting all of these things right at your fingertips. And your feedback is definitely welcomed. It'll let me know a little bit better of what you're interested in. You're going to receive a campus map from me also, but let's just kind of get our bearings on where we are. So this is Sweeten Creek Road. This is where I was saying that all the doctor's offices and everything are just one road up. So it runs parallel to everything. So when you come in the campus, you'll see the gated security area. You'll come in, and then Oxford Commons and Asbury Commons are our 2 main buildings. These 2 main buildings are connected. These are apartment buildings. And the floor plan webinar will walk you through all the details of each of these neighborhoods. So in our Asbury Commons building, the assisted living is located on the 3rd and the 4th floor. It's a 7-story building, so everything else is independent living. So Asbury and Oxford are connected. They're considered our main buildings. Additional options for apartment style living would be Creekside and Friendship. So apartments are in the center of the campus. Your single family options are houses and cottages, and then 2 different duplexes. The floor plan webinar will walk you further through all of that. Remember, I said that we're going to be building a new memory care and a new assisted living. So in this area over here, we're going to be removing a few houses and these original villa buildings. So this is coming down. This is where the new memory care and the new assisted living area will be located. We will connect it to Friendship Park. It will connect to Oxford Commons. So we're bringing all of these areas all together. So it looks like we'll probably be doing some renovations on the 3rd and 4th floor in a few years and doing something with that area. So as far as strategic planning and new construction and things we have on the campus, that's kind of what we have coming down the pike. So that where you see memory care right here, this is a doctor's office. This is not where residents reside, but we have the top highly sought after memory care physicians right here on our campus. Givens Manor, you saw Mrs. Givens' home in the beginning of the webinar. And up here is where our Givens Health Center is located. This is where we have short-term rehab and ongoing skilled nursing. So you can see a majority of our campus is independent living. You see where the assisted living and then the rehab and the skilled nursing is located. And don't forget, we offer home care in all of our independent living residences everywhere on campus. So a lot of things to cover. And if you have questions on that, again, I'm happy to talk deeper with you about that. So regardless of wherever you do live on our campus, we do have on-campus free transportation. So if you are living in a duplex and you want to be brought over for dinner or lunch or to the pool or to the wood shop or to the health center, whatever, you can be picked up and dropped off. There is no fee for that service. You can have a golf cart. We've got many walking trails. We do encourage people to walk. It's a gorgeous campus. So there's lots of ways to maneuver and get around the campus. You might be driving as well, so you have your vehicle. Lots of ways to get around. Givens Home First kind of touched about us offering the home care. And we just find that this is an amazing service because if you're comparing Givens Home First to an outside agency, if you're using an outside agency, first of all, there's long wait lists to get the assistance. And usually if you're needing it, you need it now. So we have staff here to help you with that. Many outside agencies are going to charge a trip charge. So you're going to pay just for them to get there. And then usually they will not come for anything less than 3 or 4 minimum billable hours. But our staff, and because we're all here on the campus, we can bill it down to the 30-minute increment. So you can see how this gives you more control over your choices and how we can customize your care on what you need. If you do have long-term care insurance, we would submit the policies for you. If you don't, we'll just see it itemized. We'll schedule it. We'll take care of all of it for you. And you can have your social worker help get that all set up for you. Follow us on social media. If you want to ongoing see the things that are going on, Elijah does an amazing job with touching on the stories, meet residents, meet staff. What's the news? What are all the fun things that are going on? Would you like to share anything about that, Elijah?
Yeah, sure. So, I don't know. It's just I like to capture different creative outlets of residents on campus. Some of my favorite is to feature resident artwork. We got some really, really talented people on campus, and they can express that in ways with ceramics or just really incredible art pieces through, I've seen really great alcohol drawings and like work with fiber arts, and we have tons of quilts and just lovely things that I love to feature on there. And just some residents every once in a while. Once we have new residents on campus, I'll occasionally feature them or some staff members that are just kind of showcasing their efforts and doing stuff like that. So yeah.
It's a great way to, now not everybody is social media, but I encourage you to, if you are into social media, to definitely like us on social media because you go to it versus being bombarded in your email with stuff. And there's something, I'd say at least 3 new posts a week. So you can see a lot of things at your whim. So that's another great. So if you don't mind, Elijah, I'm gonna let you pop up that next poll question for us. So this is just a question of when do you plan to move to a CCRC life plan community? Are you a planner? Are you looking at 3+ years from now? Are you thinking, I don't know, about a year to 3 years? You're more ready, like within the next year? Or I don't know, I just want some information. And that's okay too. It's looking like, because I know you can't see the results, but it's looking like a majority of the people are planners, which is typical. And it's good to plan. Please hear me on that, because many places do have wait lists, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But it looks like a majority of you are 3 years. The next highest score would be 1 to 3. There's a few of you that are within the next 12 months. and 24% of you are just undecided. And that's okay too. All right, so we're gonna move on. Not everybody has answered, and it's okay if you don't, but I don't want to cut it off. But I think we're good. Okay. So let's talk about the wait list. The biggest, hardest question every day that people ask me is, Leslie, how long is your wait list? Well, honestly, I don't know. I really do not know. I have been here for about 14 years now. I'm always learning and I'm always trying to figure out this question for people, and I'll never really know. But I'm finding that it's pretty good to say that our average time is 2 to 5 years. Some are going to be longer and some's going to be sooner. So average is 2 to 5. But a rule of thumb that I've really kind of been able to pinhole is larger is longer. The larger square footage that you want, the longer the wait. The smaller the square footage that you're looking for, the shorter the wait. And this is pretty typical in most communities we are finding industry-wide. But our cutoff point here is 1,500 square feet and more is usually a 3+ year wait. And the larger you go, the longer that wait. If you are looking at a cottage, I'm going to say minimum 5 years. An interesting thing. Remember, I said our average move-in age is 74. The average time someone is living here is 13 to 15 years. But we've all heard it. People are knowing that the baby boomers are on the rise. The silver tsunami is coming, and it dominates the population now. So people are moving in younger, they're living longer, and we offer home care. So people are staying put longer. So please be proactive and find communities that you are interested in and get on a wait list long before you're actually ready to move. But some things will be longer, some things will be shorter. We don't know. So we're just trying to get an idea. So when someone does get on our wait list, I touched on this earlier, we do ask that you indicate up to 4 floor plan preferences. Please don't let that stress you out too much. Please play along and just pick 4 of what you think is going to be what you are after. Yes, you can change these preferences at any time, but we want you to kind of become familiar with the campus, kind of get an idea of what it is that you are looking for, single family or maybe a multifamily apartment. If it's an apartment, does it need to be in the main building, or you want a little bit more outdoor space with walkout patios, but still a multifamily? We can talk more details about that for you, but it could change from the time that you thought that you were moving and when you actually do move. So don't get too stuck on that. But what if we were to do some new construction? If we are able to take this and say, okay, these are what the preference that a lot of people are saying that they want, that's really good data for us. So that's one of the reasons why we are wanting to ask you for that, because we want to serve you the best that we can. So I did mention about the memory care. We are those buildings. I said we're going to take a few houses down in those villas there. We are in 2025 focusing on relocating our residents to another area on campus so we can build this memory care facility. I do think that a majority of those moves are going to have more of an impact on some of the smaller options. So whereas I say average is 2 to 5 years, this master plan might cause some delays, but probably no more than a year at the most. So we're actually already making quite good headway on that. So, but I just want to be clear and transparent on that when we're trying to guess a wait time. So how do I get on your wait list at Givens Estates? So it is a one-time deposit of $2,500 per household. That is not per person, but a one-time deposit of $2,500 gets you on the wait list. There is some supportive documents for you to fill out. We're going to ask you for your 4 floor plan preferences. Again, that can change. We're going to ask you for a high-level medical information. I'm not needing anything from a physician. And then we're going to ask for your finances. And we know that that all changes, but we just want to make sure that we are able to offer to you what you're wanting and that we're a good fit for each other. So your deposit is fully refundable for 30 days. After 30 days, your wait list deposit never expires. You never have to renew it. But if you ever did cancel, you will always receive 750 of it back. Always. If you were to move into our community, that full $2,500 deposit is going to be applied towards your entry fee. When you do pay your deposit, that becomes your wait list date. Some communities give you a number. We don't give you a number, we give you a wait list date, and everything revolves around that date. Okay. So while you're on our wait list, as well as the ready list, which I'll talk about next, we invite you to immediately become more familiar with our campus. We have all the 3 dining venues. We encourage you to come, dine, experience, meet other residents, dine with them, converse with them, walk around our campus, enjoy the hiking trails, be familiar with where things are located on the campus. You will be added to our bi-weekly newsletter, so you will be up to date on all of the information, events, things that are going on in the campus so that you are in the know. But here is a really big one that I like to pause on is when you are on our wait list, you have access to our higher levels of care. So should somebody need short-term rehab that lives here locally, or should somebody or a spouse have a life-changing event and maybe one person needs assisted living or skilled nursing, maybe you didn't think you were going to move to the campus for 5 years, maybe we didn't have anything, life threw you a curveball, but let you have some hope and ideas that you can come to our campus with the higher levels of care. We are fee for service. We can customize your choices of care that you need, and you get to control that. But I do want to say that if I only have one opening and a resident needs it and a waitlist depositor needs it, the resident is always going to get that opening. So you have access to higher levels of care, not a guarantee. So if you are on a wait list and you have a health event, you're going to the hospital immediately, let us know, because you might need short-term rehab. And the sooner we know, the better chance we have to be able to help you. So if you do join our wait list, make sure anybody, loved one or healthcare power of attorney, elder attorney, whoever's in charge of your health care affairs, make sure that they know that you are on our wait list so that we can best assist you. So there's the wait list and the ready list. Somewhat self-explanatory, but let's still go through it. Wait list means you are waiting. You are not ready, so therefore you are not notified of available options, vacancies that come up. So it's kind of like, don't call me, I'll call you. I've got my wait list date established, but I've got over 1,300 people on my wait list. So how do I know who to call? So out of these 1,300 people, the people that are ready and want me to call them, they communicate with me. We are reconfirming what your preferences are. They may have changed. We're updating all of your information, because if I am going to call you and offer you a residence, obviously you are ready. So ready means that you would be in a position to pay the balance of the entry fee no later than 60 days after that residence has vacated. So if that timing works for you and you want to be notified, you want to communicate that with me, and then I will place you on the ready list. Everyone on the ready list is placed on that list in order of their original wait list date. So if Elijah joined the wait list in 2020 and I joined today and we are both ready, Elijah is going to be higher on that list. And then remember, we said that average is 2 to 5 years or whatever. Well, if he was on 2020 and now it's 2025, he's going to be much higher, and you'd kind of get an idea of that average timing. So that's the purpose of the ready list. It's kind of like a filter, okay? So let's ask another, I think this is our final poll question, if you don't mind playing along. Are you already on a wait list? Because, and I will say this, it is okay to be on more than one wait list. You may like that type A life plan community option, but what if something happens and you didn't qualify? I would recommend that you also get on a type C a wait list as well. Maybe your kids live where there's a C that you like, but you really want to be over here. You've got options, you've got your stories, but understanding those contract types, understanding that there are typically wait lists. The average wait list nationwide is 7+ years. So we're very fortunate that we have all price ranges, all floor plan sizes, and preferences for everyone here in our campus. And by being on our wait list, you have access to the higher levels of care. So let's see, we've got about 76 have participated. 36 of you are yes on a wait list, 44 are not, and 20% not yet. So well, good. And it's okay to be on more than one. All right, so let's see here. You're going to get emails from me. It may be today or it might be tomorrow. It really depends on how long it takes for this recording to upload. So if I can get it out to you today, I will. If not, it will be tomorrow. But you're going to get a recording of today's webinar. I'm going to include our 2025 fee sheet with all levels of care, including independent living. We will have menus and activities of what's currently going on in our campus, the campus map, the virtual tour of the interior amenities. Don't forget that floor plan webinar and the library. And that webinar too has a table of contents. It's an over an hour webinar, but if you just want to go straight to the cottages, it's going to tell you on there exactly what time it's in the webinar. I start talking about the cottages, so you can see all of it, and then you'll see all the links for you to see the floor plans. So every month we host 2 talk and tour events on the first and the third Wednesday of every month. If you're traveling, you're coming to Asheville, or if you're here locally and you're looking at your schedule, just know that we offer them on the first and third Wednesdays. The first Wednesday of every month is an afternoon at 2 o'clock tour. And the third Wednesday we do in the morning. Some people prefer morning, some people prefer afternoon. And these events do fill up. You do get to come hear the presentation. You have a tour of all of the interior amenities, and you also get to meet a resident. And while you're here, if you'd like to enjoy a meal, by all means, treat yourself to that. So you're going to get the tour dates as well in your follow-up email. If there is anything additional that I have not included that you want, please let me know. If you would like to schedule to come on campus, or maybe a phone or a virtual Zoom appointment, please, I'm here to help you. This is a big deal, and I am honored to be a part of your discovery process. I really hope that this information has been helpful to you today. Elijah, I'd like to open this up for questions. Have people typed in anything for us to go over? Is there anything there?
Yeah, they have. So I'm gonna start from the very beginning when we first got started and just move forward. So first question we have, how has Helene affected Givens?
I knew somebody was going to ask that. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I don't want to look at my face in the picture. Okay. So how has Helene affected our community? Is that what it said?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, we are back to normal here on our campus. But when you have a life-changing event like that, there's always lingering, changes of things, of just awareness and appreciation for water, for power. And I will say kind of how did it affect us at the time of Helene? I'll kind of go in on that. We did lose water, but within 72 hours, Samaritan's Purse was here. They set up a whole water filtration system on our pond, so we had water. Also, we have about 350 employees. I'd say about 200 employees, those that could get here, were hauling water. So we were flushing toilets and we were making it happen. And it became even a tighter community at that time. We didn't have power, but we had generators. We had backup things for us to do it. We even had Starlink for us to have internet. When you have communities like this, you have to have your emergency things in place. And COVID really taught us a lot, what we didn't have, what we needed, and we improved. And then we were super ready for something like this. We just weren't mentally ready thinking that it would be what it was, but it was something. And people will ask a lot, like, what kind of damage did you have on the campus? We really didn't have a whole lot of damage on our campus. Of course, there were some trees down. There was, situations like that. We had one house where a tree went over the entire roof of it. That house is almost finished in repairs right now. We had some sideways rain go into our Asbury Commons building that caused for some of the assisted living residents to be relocated. They're already back home. And I think those are the biggest things that got damaged on our campus. But
Yeah.
we're back to
Another thing to note is no staff or residents were injured or harmed. So,
no, but we do have some staff that lost homes completely. And the leading age of North Carolina, that's something for our industry. They raised over $150,000 for our area for employees. And then Givens philanthropy department, was it like 70,000? I don't remember
no,
what
we
that
reached over 100.
was. It okay? So it was over. So they were really, really wonderful. I had a lot of damage in my home, and that deposit that I got a small check that covered the deductible on my insurance, which was very, very helpful. We're still repairing our house, but here on campus, things are great. There are some areas in Asheville that are still pretty bad. But for the most part, Asheville's strong. We're carrying on and we're going to be fine. And I think the areas that are still struggling are the areas where they expected for flooding to happen, but these are people's homes. So you want to be excited that we're back to normal, but you also want to be respectful that some people are not. So hopefully I've kind of addressed both directions on that.
Okay. So, next question. Can we upgrade the independent living options in the future, move into an apartment and later into a home?
Okay, so upgrading residences. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I want to answer this question. Now, some people will say, because of your wait list and I'm ready to sell my house, can I move into this? And then when this comes available, move to that. No, I'm sorry. We don't do that, because if we did, all we would be doing is shuffling people, moving people all the time. And we did it some in the past, and we learned the hard way. And we don't do that anymore, because this is a big deal. You're selling the home that you've lived in for many years. You are starting a new chapter of your life, and you're starting here in something that you really don't want. So we would rather you wait and move into the community, into a place that really is a good fit for you, to get you started on this new adventure, that in a place that is making you happy. Now, flip side to this, we are continuum of care. We're also continuum of lifestyle. We have residents that move in. We'll use an example of a cottage home, or a Cokesbury duplex, and it's further distance. And this resident doesn't drive anymore. Okay, so they want or need to make a move to another area. Or let's say maybe a spouse has passed and the pension is gone and your income is a third of what it used to be. So medical and financial reasons for the request of an internal transfer will be reviewed, and they would be approved based on medical and financial. So if it were approved, and if you were making a move, usually it's to things that are less expensive, not necessarily to the bigger, but it has happened. So if you were moving to another place, the full entry fee that you paid would be applied towards the new residence, the full amount. If you move to something more expensive, because it would be at the current rate at the time of your transfer. So if you did move to something more expensive, you would pay the difference. If you were moving to something less expensive, I'm unable to give you a credit for that, because you did live in that residence, but your new monthly fee would begin. Okay. So yes, those can be done. Residents that are on the internal transfer list do get top priority of openings.
All right. So you may have answered this one, but I don't remember hearing it. Do you allow dogs more than one any weight restrictions?
Pets. Yes, we allow pets. Pets are very, very important to some people. And I always laugh when people ask that question because it depends on who's asking it, because they might be like, do you allow pets or do you allow pets? There's two different ways to answer that. And when you're in a community, that's important. So, yes, we do allow pets. No, there is not a fee for having pets, but there is a one-time DNA test when you're moving in with a pet. It's a saliva test. It's a company called Poo Prints. So if your pet went outside and it pooed and you did not pick up the poo, we will know whose poo it is. So that's the only fee that we have for it. We want to keep our campus clean. So that's the only fee associated with pets. As far as weight limits go, if you have a pet that is no more than 40 pounds, then it can be in an apartment. So apartments, max weight is 40 pounds. Outside of the apartments, max weight is 70 pounds. You can have up to 2 pets. I have had situation where somebody had 3 cats. So we did approve that person to move in with the third cat. And then if something did happen, we had the agreement that they were literally irreplaceable in every way possible. So we are definitely a pet welcoming community. So think about your pet. What is a good fit? If you have a pet that's going to bark, 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 and just probably make everybody unhappy, please consider a single family residence. If you're in a residence where there is a situation, we do ask that the resident do talk with another resident about it. If not, then social workers and us will have to intervene and help out with that. Pets are very, 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 very important to many people, and we want to support that.
Okay, next question. What does a typical dinner of meat with two vegetables cost?
So because we have three different dining venues and they're all going to vary in pricing, in your follow-up email, you're going to get menus with the pricing. So I'll let you take a look at that.
All right. How much did monthly fees go up last year?
Okay, monthly fees went up 4.5%. I usually tell people that we have an average of anywhere between 3 and 5% per year, average.
Okay. And ham radio clubs, chess clubs, Freemasonry groups.
Yes, there are some masonries here. There's PEO. There's all kinds of groups here. And if we didn't have it, again, you can talk with the Life Enrichment Department to help you connect. We even have an app. It's a G-Town app that we have here. And when you're moving in, you'll fill out getting to know you forms. You can share things about you, and then it becomes a keyword. So when you are on the resident profile page of the app, you can say, okay, PEO, Mason, and if they've put that in them, you would automatically be able to make that connection. There's also ways to get that as well. But ham radio, yes, Don Poole, resident that's here, he's big into that. He would love to hear from you. So we have that as well. Chess, yes, we have some chess groups. We have poker, we have bridge, we have mahjong, you name it.
All right. So, does the entry fee cover you if you enter at independent living but transition later to either assisted or skilled nursing? Does only the monthly fee change?
Correct. So if you are living here at Givens Estates and you move to assisted or skilled nursing, you would not pay another entry fee to those areas. If you are on our wait list and you move directly into the assisted living, there would be an admission fee. I think it's anywhere between like 10 and 18,000.
Where is the Mayheck Run Health Center?
So the Mayheck doctor's office is located on the first floor of our Asbury Commons building. And back to the other question, yes, just the monthly fee would then change. So if it's a double occupancy, one person passes, it would be single. Or if both of you are here and one person moves to the other level of care, it would be single. And then that person would pay the current rate for whatever level of care they are living in. When you receive the fee sheet, if you still have questions, I'm happy to walk you through it.
So, where will the new memory care center be located?
Okay, I did point that out.
Okay. What types of phone service is it, cell or landline?
So included in your monthly fee would be a landline.
Is there tech help with computers, etc.?
Yes. Yes. So we do have our own IT department here. We also have resident interest groups of people that are techies that are willing to be buddies for you to help you to learn how to use these services. Or if you've got like a virus or whatever in your computer, we've got some people that volunteer to do that as well.
What is the elevation gain of the terrain?
2,300, I believe, is the top of our campus.
On the wait list, can you come to activities, events, use pool/gym?
Okay, we used to be able to welcome everybody on the wait list to come use the whole campus, but it has become too big of a wait list, too much. Imagine if you are living here and you pay the entry fee and the monthly fee and you can't go to yoga because the class is full. So now our new wait list depositors going forward have access to dining, hiking trails, and the higher levels of care. Unfortunately, we can't open everything up to the campus anymore. But people that are on the ready list will be invited to come to our tour of homes events. Occasionally, we offer the wait list to come on to our tour of homes as well. And you can walk through actual floor plans and see things in addition to the virtual tours that I'm going to send, but that is limited to people on the wait list and the ready list, and they are scheduled events. There will also be a lot of events this next year, with it being our 50 years, where we're going to have campus activities for people.
Okay, so someone asked if the fee sheet includes the higher levels of care pricing, and it's going to be on page 4. So, is there an age restriction to get on the waiting list?
One of you, if it's a couple, one of you has to at least be 55.
If I'm ready, you offer me a unit that doesn't satisfy me, will I keep my priority on the list?
You would keep your date. We would find out, well, first of all, before you even or offered anything, you would have told me what 4 floor plans you did want. So I wouldn't call you and offer you something that you didn't say that you wanted, but there still could be things that come up with it. You can turn down a residence and you will never, ever, 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 ever lose your wait list date.
Do you have definitions of independent living, or can I assign that definition to myself? I think it's basically just asking like how we determine if someone is capable for independent living.
Okay, so you kind of have an idea of it as well. And to say if you're moving with a spouse, and sometimes people are helping each other, but at the time that you are moving in here, we will be requesting medical records from your physician that knows you, will have all your medical notes and all that. So there are times where we have people come in, we're going to do an assessment and get to know you better, because maybe you're coming in with home care services immediately. There have been situations where that's part of your approval contingency, is that you will accept some home care services. Maybe it's just for the first 30 days, because we know that a move can be quite stressful for some people. So we want to make this a successful transition for you and for us. So at the time that you're moving in, we're all going to become best friends. We're all going to know everything that we can best know about each other to help set everyone up for success.
Does the on-campus transportation need reservations?
No, you call the reception desk, they call them and they come. We usually say at the most it's about a 15-minute wait.
Will you elaborate on parking a little bit?
Yes, and it will go into it on the floor plan webinar as well. But if you are looking for single family, you'll have parking, whether it's a carport or a garage or a driveway, you'll have that. If it's an apartment, the only area that you move in and you're guaranteed a parking space would be Creekside. Creekside apartment homes have 12 apartments per building with 12 parking spaces underneath. Oxford Commons does have a parking garage, but that building has 137 apartments. There are not 137 parking spaces. People can purchase a parking space with a one-time fee of $7,500. Please plan to most likely be on a wait list for one, and I can't put you on that list until I've offered you a residence. And you can keep that parking space as long as one of you in your household is still operating a vehicle. At that point, you have to surrender the residence so somebody else can have it. There's free parking right outside. Friendship Park, there's free parking, and Asbury, free parking.
What percentage of fees are tax deductible as healthcare expenses?
So I am going to include in your follow-up a tax credit letter, and you will see what I don't have The 2024 tax letter, I only have the 2023. Probably in the next month, I'll have the 2024. So I'll send you the most current one in your follow-up email. A portion of the entry fee and ongoing every year, the monthly fee can add up. These usually come in handy for people that itemize, not necessarily those that do standard deductions. That's typically the case everywhere.
What is your internet and cable TV providers?
Spectrum.
How often do you remodel your units, including with new appliances?
Okay, so whenever a residence is going to come available, we're going to go through it. We're going to see what needs to be done. And then we're going to say to you, this is what we plan to do. And if you want to do something above and beyond that, then it would become a personal situation between you and Ben and Ashley, and they would approve what you're wanting to do as well as giving you a quote, and we would do the work for you. I have to be somewhat generic on that response right now because I've got Friendship Park apartments that are brand new. If one of those comes available, we're probably just going to do touch-up paint. But if somebody that's living in a cottage that somebody's lived in for 16 years, I'm probably going to need to do more. However, some residents, once they have lived in their residence for 10 years, they can opt for a free update. So if somebody's lived in that residence for 20 years and they just did their 10-year update a month ago, that might mean a little bit different. So at the time that a place is offered to you, we will have a full in-depth discussion of what needs to be done, what you want done. Say I'm going to put all new carpet in it, but you don't want carpet, you want a different flooring. You would get credit for the carpet and a quote for the difference.
All right. Do you know, are the assisted living or skilled nursing also similar wait lists at this time?
That's going to vary. It's going to be up and down. And in my follow-up email, you're going to have Patrick Monaghan's contact information. He handles the admissions for short-term rehab, assisted living, and skilled nursing. If you want this type of webinar on the higher levels of care, please reply back to me and tell me that you would like to receive that webinar. I've also got another webinar that talks about renovations, and I can go a lot deeper into that. So if you want that, please reply and I can send you that webinar as well. We've got 3 more minutes before it cuts us off.
Okay, we're almost done. Is there a way of calculating how much money is needed beyond the entry fee to allow for possible higher level of care, or do you need to do that when you review application information?
So there's a lot of factors that go into affordability, but the very high level, quick way for me to say, okay, what do I need financially? Think of the mathematical equation of times 2. If you are looking at an entry fee that is 200,000 times 2 would be 400,000. Does this person have, including their home and their investment assets, do they have at least 400,000? The monthly fee is 2,500 times 2, that's 5,000. Does this person have the potential of guaranteed income, Social Security, pension, and creating income off of your remaining assets after you've paid the entry fee? I give it a 4% income base and I add all that up, divide it by 12 to make it a monthly thing. And if you're at times 2 on either of these, we're done. We're not asking questions. But not everybody, especially on the monthly part, has the times 2. So we got to look at age. We got to look if they have long-term care insurance. How much are they paying? What is left in their assets? Then it's going to start to get a lot deeper. But if you're at that times 2, you're done.
Suggestions for looking for rental communities.
Suggestions for looking for rental communities. If you will email me, and when I email you, reply back, and I can give you some suggestions in our area.
All right, and that pretty much wraps them up.
Good.
Just some other like basic questions, like what type of amenities and groups we offer: choir, bell choir, ukulele, musical jams. So.
We do have choir, bell choir. We have men's choir, co-ed choir. We have handbells. We have dulcimer group. We also have jam sessions where you could play ukuleles and all that stuff. Yes, we have.
And a hiking group as well.
Yes, we do have hiking. Many hiking groups now, and not only hiking here on our campus. We go off campus. There's a lot of things. Life does not end here on our campus. We are in Asheville, North Carolina. There are lots of things going on off campus as well.
All right.
Okay.
accept the questions. So
Woo! I hope this has been helpful. Please put me to work. Let me know your feedback. Was this helpful? What further questions do you have? Do you want to come for a tour? Are you interested in our wait list? What can Elijah and I do to help you from here? Because we are here for you. Thank you. Have an amazing day. And I'll hopefully get, oh, Thomas just put his hand up. Okay. Or maybe they're just saying hi and thank you and goodbye. Okay. All right. Okay. Reach out to me if you have any other questions. Have an amazing day. Take care.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Elijah, for all your help.
Sure.
Okay. Bye.